Welcome back, my fellow radiation nerds! A few months ago, I made a review of the Better Geiger S2 meter, and today I got its bigger brother, the Better Geiger S2L. How do these meters compare, and which one should you consider? Let's find out. If you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming uploads. Thanks, and now back to the video. Just to quickly recap, the Better Geiger S2 is a budget-friendly radiation detector, which uses a small scintillation crystal, and as a result, it has a much better gamma sensitivity compared to more traditional Geiger tube-based meters. The crystal on the original S2 is very small, and gives only around 100 counts per minute of background radiation, which for a scintillator is rather low. The new S2L improves on that, and uses a much larger 3 cubic centimeter cesium iodide crystal, making it far more sensitive, and the background radiation hovers at around 700 to 800 counts per minute, which is fantastic. The only real downside of the new bigger crystal is that the maximum measuring range is quite a bit lower. The original S2 was rated for up to 100 millisieverts an hour, while the S2L maxes out at 5 millisieverts an hour. The 5 millisieverts an hour upper limit is still plenty high, and most likely nobody will ever encounter such levels in everyday life. The refresh rate of the screen has also been improved, and now the meter updates the readings a bit more often, making it feel more responsive. This improvement will also come included in the newer S2 and S2 mini meters, but unfortunately there won't be a way to update all the models, which is a bit of a shame. The physical body and the build quality are pretty much the same as on the S2 meter, which is really good. The only real difference between the two meters is that the new S2L has a slightly off-center placement of the crystal. When purchasing the meter, you can also get an optional check source, which is basically a small piece of uranium ore. I think it can be a pretty nice option for people who are just getting started and don't have any radioactive items to check the meter with. Unfortunately, this option is only available for US customers. If you're crafty, there is a possible mod for Better Geiger meters which allows you to conduct a basic gamma spectroscopy with them. The mod seems pretty simple to do, and there is an official walkthrough guide published by the manufacturer. I've linked it in the video description. The results, however, aren't the best, and I would definitely recommend investing in a proper gamma spectrometer if that's something that you want to dive into. That being said, I think it's a great option for those who want to experiment with it. In order to find out how the Better Geiger S2L performs, I will use it to measure a few radioactive items in my collection. The sources include a high-grade uranium ore, lutetium coin, thorium gas mantle, and uranium glass. All these tests have been conducted by placing the sample right in front of the meter, with the averaging time set to balanced. This is a sample of a high-grade uranium ore from Pribram in Czech Republic. It's a good source for stress testing meters and checking how quickly they react to it. While the Better Geiger had absolutely no problems in detecting it, it took it a few seconds before the reading stopped climbing. Once the final measurement was reached, the uranium ore clocked at 490,000 counts per minute and had a contact dose rate of 200 microsieverts an hour. This lutetium coin contains approximately 432 becquerels of natural lutetium-176. It isn't a very strong source, but useful for testing meters and seeing how they react to low-activity samples. The Better Geiger had no problems in detecting it, and it measured about 2000 counts per minute, and the contact dose rate had only increased by a very small amount. Thoriated gas mantles are pretty easy to find, and thorium produces a bunch of gamma energies, which Better Geiger had no problems in detecting, and it clocked at 5000 counts per minute, and it measured a contact dose rate of 1 microsievert an hour. Uranium glass contains pure uranium, without its daughter isotopes, which are responsible for most gamma emissions in uranium ore. In this case, Better Geiger actually struggled, and I would probably not trust it to reliably detect low-activity items such as uranium glass. If you want to use radiation meters for detecting uranium glass or uranium glaze, I think a pancake-style meter will be a far better choice than a gamma scintillator. Where I think Better Geiger S2L shines the most is in searching for radioactive minerals. as they are often buried underground and conventional Geiger counters will struggle with detecting them. I brought my S2L for a few uranium prospecting trips, and I managed to find a lot of very radioactive rocks with it. The Better Geiger S2L is a pretty nice meter, especially considering its price point. There are, however, a few small tweaks and improvements I would like to see on the future versions just to make it even better. Firstly, when measuring high-activity sources, clicks turn into one continuous beep noise. I think it would be great to have a click divider option added to the settings menu, which will make the meter click once every 5, 10 or 20 actual clicks. This feature is on my Racid and it comes in very handy when prospecting for radioactive minerals in high background areas. While on the topic of clicks, a physical bright LED signaling detected events would be a great addition. I haven't really realized how nice such LEDs are until I got my SC International Ranger, and I honestly think it's a heavily underrated feature. In my original video, I mentioned that the screen material is rather soft and extremely easy to scratch, and unfortunately, this is still the case here. Robert did clarify that this is intentional as this type of screen material is much harder to crack, but it comes at the cost of being much more prone to scratches. If you plan on using the meter in the field, I can almost guarantee you that the screen will get scratched up pretty quickly. I think going with a regular hard plastic would be a better choice. I'm also not the biggest fan of the OLED screen. Yeah, it does look nice and fancy, but it is hard to read in strong sunlight and it's prone to flickering on cameras, which for someone who does a lot of videos is rather annoying. In the studio I do have a control over the shutter speed of my camera, but if I want to make quick videos with my phone in the field, the meter screen flickers so hard on the video it's impossible to read. LCD screens don't feel so fancy, but they also don't have any of the issues just mentioned. Lastly, while the refresh rate of the screen has been improved and the measurements are now updated more often, the averaging algorithm hasn't really changed that much. There are 3 different modes: fast and jumpy, balanced, and slow and smooth. If the meter would change automatically between those modes based on the sudden changes in detected activity, then I think Better Geiger would be punching way above its class and would give my Red Eye PRD a run for its money, at least for hobby and amateur use. So to summarize, priced at $200, the Better Geiger S2L is just $50 more expensive than the standard S2 meter, and I think it's definitely worth the extra money. Its sensitivity is a solid upgrade, and it's miles ahead of any Geiger counter. In fact, it's probably one of the cheapest scintillators on the market, and with its 3 cubic centimeter crystal, it even outshines some of the more expensive options out there. If you're looking for a meter to bring with you on your next mineral prospecting trip, I think the S2L is definitely worth considering. I would like to thank Robert from Better Geiger for sending me a unit for a review and supporting the channel. If you are interested in picking up a Better Geiger meter, I have left a link in the video description. I wanna hear from you. Have you had a chance to check out the Better Geiger meters? What were your impressions, and are you considering getting one? I'm looking forward to your answers in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If yes, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming uploads. Also feel free to check out my Patreon page where you can support the channel financially and get access to exclusive content. And remember, stay active.